everyone, my name is Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic. Welcome to my tying bench. Today, great little snatcher pattern. Love this little pattern. I've been using this one for quite a few years now. Really been using it a lot last year and this year. Done extremely well with it, especially here in Alberta and other places where you can fish a team of flies. This goes really, really well. Let's switch over to the regular camera. So we're going to start off today with a Hends BL254N in a size 8, downturned 2x strong hook. We'll be using some black, there we go, black NanoSilk from Semperfli. Ooh, just noticed I'm getting low. I'd have to load up another one. For the tail, we're going to be using some Semperfli Chartreuse, hot Chartreuse Goose Biots. One of them for the tail. For the shellback, we're using a little bit of hollow tinsel from Semperfli, again, 0.8 mil in the copper. For the body, I'm going to be using some of the Hare Plus dubbing. Which one here? This number 22 right here. Kind of a browny, orangey kind of color. And then for the hackle, we'll be using some Coachman brown whiting rooster. Okay. So let's get going. So start your thread, like always. Stop about there, just a little bit past the tip of the hook. Oh, my bench is a mess. So, okay, so what I like doing here is, first of all, I'm going to cut off myself just one biot. Okay, so I just got the one biot, and it's going to have a natural curve, and I want that curve up, not down, up. First things first, though, right there, I'm going to build just a little bit of a bump. Not huge, but enough that this is going to help to hold this even better. Okay, and then I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to lay my goose biot curve up, and I want it to be about the length, not quite the length of the body past. So I'm going to be about there. Oh, my fingers are getting in the way. About like that. And I'm going to lay it right on top. Just let that sit there for a sec. Just lay that on top. Pull it where you want it if that's not enough and it wasn't for my taste. So I'm going to make that a little longer. The bugger's not cooperating, because then what I like doing is just an open turns. Get this back up just a second. There we go. Just open turns and it coming back to that bump I created. All right. So I go right up to that bump, and that'll help hold that up. And I'm also going to go under it and pull it forward, and that'll help too. Okay. Now I'm just going to get in there and just cut off that excess. Tie that down. Oh, you know what? I did forget one minor thing. Some wire. I need a piece of wire because I counter wrap this, right? So 0.2 mil, 0.1 mil. Let's go with 0.2. So I'm just going with 0.2 mil silver. Sometimes I'll go with copper, but I didn't see it right away, and I didn't want to waste your guys' time. So again, just going to come forward roughly to about there, because I want to leave room for my head. Tie that in. Right back to that tail. Then I'm going to take that piece of copper tinsel, and I'm going to lay that in, and I want to ensure that this ends up staying on top, because it's going to be a little bit of a shellback. Now, it's not majorly critical that this stays on top, but it just makes it look a little bit cleaner if it does. Okay, just going to keep that out of the way. Come back again. Right back to that tail. Wax my thread. Get a little bit of that number 22. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with the number 14. It's a little darker on this one. Just a little darker brown. Not a ton, but just that shade darker. So I'm just going to get that started, and then I'm going to tighten it up. Every time I come around, a little bit more. This is a hint for all you beginners out there, guys that know what they're doing. This is everybody knows it, but for those beginners, try putting less dubbing on at a time. You can always add more, but taking it off can be a bit of a pain, and then you end up getting a little bulky spots. So just put on a little less than you think. You can always do 2 or 3 like I just did, right? So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to lay this right on the top, the copper. Just tighten that up. Sorry. I'm going to cut that short because that's getting in my way. There we go. Make sure that stays right on top as best you can. It's not, like I said, it's not absolutely critical. See? And then just 1, 2 in front. Cut that off. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Hackle feather. I've already got one here, so I don't have to take one out of my package. The one I've been using for a couple of them that I tied already in the last day or 2. Okay. Should be long enough that I don't need to use my hackle pliers. So 1, 2, then I'm going to start opening up. One more right at the tail there. And then take my wire. Make sure you catch that little piece. Then come on through. Like I said, you can see that that silver is showing through now. That's why I usually like using a copper or gold wire, but I didn't want to dig as you guys were waiting. So, but it definitely shows off a bit of more segmentation this way. Okay, so now I'm just gonna helicopter off my wire, helicopter off my excess hackle. There we go. Hold everything back. Build just a little bit of a head. Now, there is a couple of things you can do here. You can leave it like this, and that's what I'm going to do. I like these ones fairly simple. But I do also tie where I put a Goose Biot hotspot in the front, and I just cut it off. I cut it square. Or I'll take the thread off, and I'll put a Chartreuse thread at the front for a head. Just another way of building a hotspot, right? So, okay, and then I'm like just stroking everything back so nothing gets burnt, and just hit it with the lighter just to get off any of those little hairs. And there she is, little Shellback Snatcher. So it's got that copper shellback in there, and then it's got that nice Goose Biot on the back end. Now, another thing I like doing is just taking my Velcro now and just roughing up the underneath part of that dubbing. I mean, I could have done it earlier as well, but just a slight rough up just to make it look just a tiny bit more buggy. But that is it. Now I'll go along and I'll put some. I'll do about 10 or 15 of these, and I'll put head cement on all of them and let them dry and do my thing, right? So, but yeah, that is the completed fly. It is really good. Like I said, I really like fishing this one on a washing line. I'll have like a fab or a booby at the point. This in my middle dropper, and then this on my top dropper, and then a middle dropper. I'll have a little spider pattern, or maybe even a chironomid or something like that. Sometimes I'll even put this on the center dropper, and then in the top I'll put a emerger, like an emerging chironomid or something like that, a shuttlecock, even something like these, which I've done a video for, a CDC type sedge, right? So I'll have that, and then a fab or a booby, right, in a washing line. So. But yeah, they're extremely effective. They work extremely well. I tie them with green, and I tie them with orange hotspot tails. So both are from Semperfli. They're the hot orange and the hot Chartreuse, I think it's called. Yeah. So, alrighty. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Give that one a shot. Super, super, super effective little fly. Doesn't look it crazy. It makes fish go nuts. Don't fish it too fast. Fairly static. Maybe a little figure 8 retrieve, almost like a chironomid retrieve. Give it a little twitch every once in a while to impart some movement in it. But other than that, just let this thing do its job. Alrighty. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you subscribed, thanks a lot. If you have not, consider doing so. And if you've got any comments, if you've got any requests on what you'd like to see, please leave a comment, and then I'll see what I can do. All right, everyone. Tie lines.